Attention passionate Detroit, Lions fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Detroit Lions' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Detroit Lions fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Detroit LIONS fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. Hold on to your seats because what I'm about to tell you could be a game changer for the Lions and the entire NFC North. Rumors are swirling around that the Baltimore Ravens, a team currently sitting at 9-4, are eyeing a trade that could shake things up in a big way. And the player at the center of this storm, Kyle Hamilton, the rising star safety out of Notre Dame, who's been making waves in Baltimore. The word is that the Ravens, despite their solid record, are feeling the heat financially after extending Lamar Jackson and are now looking to make some moves to strengthen their roster for the long haul. They're flirting with the idea of trading Hamilton, potentially for a third-round pick in the 2026 draft, and a young cornerback, Amick Robertson, who's been a solid piece for them. Why would Baltimore consider such a move? Well, it's all about cap space and needs. The Ravens are sitting on about $19 million in free cap space, which they might want to use to rebuild their wide receiver core, especially with some key players hitting the market. They're also in need of assets to bolster their pass rush in the upcoming draft, and trading Hamilton could free up some much-needed cap room while bringing in draft capital and another young player to develop. It's a classic case of a team weighing its options. Do they hold onto a star in Hamilton, who's proven to be a game wrecker, or do they flip him now for future assets? From the Lions' perspective, this potential trade is massive. Detroit's secondary has been solid but a bit leaky lately, especially after losing Tracy Walker to an Achilles injury in December and with Kirby Joseph nursing a knee injury. Hamilton's addition would be a huge boost to their back end, giving them an elite range safety who can make plays all over the field. And with the Lions fighting to keep pace in the NFC North, having a player like Hamilton could be the extra piece they need to elevate their pass defense and limit the big plays that teams like the Vikings and Packers have been throwing at them. Now, let's talk about Hamilton himself. At just 23 years old, he's already established himself as one of the NFL's most promising safeties. With a career tally of 8 interceptions and over 450 tackles as of September 2025, he's a versatile player who can do it all. In 2025 alone, Hamilton logged 5 interceptions in just 13 games and earned a PFF grade of 98, which is outstanding for a safety. His missed tackle rate is only around 5.8%, showing that he's reliable in his tackling, and he averages 1.6 EPA per cover snap, meaning he's effective in pass coverage. Not to mention, he's also racked up 8 sacks on blitzes and 40 pass deflections throughout his career, with an impressive 17% blitz win rate. His ability to cover both deep and short routes, combined with his knack for creating turnovers, makes him a true playmaker. One of the key moments that showcase his potential was Week 12 against the Bengals, where Hamilton recorded 13 tackles, an interception, and 4 passes defensed. That game underscored just how impactful he can be on the field. His career stats also include 6 forced fumbles and a 32% success rate defending against slot receivers. Despite suffering a hamstring injury early in 2025, Hamilton bounced back quickly, playing in 8 games where he registered 11 or more tackles and kept his performance high. His resilience shows that he's not just talented but also tough and dependable, traits every team covets. Looking at his matchup against the Lions' safeties, especially Kirby Joseph, who has been graded at 83. 7 PFF and has 2 interceptions this year. Adding Hamilton would give Detroit an elite range safety that can significantly improve their turnover rate. Currently, the Lions' secondary has a turnover rate of around 26%, but with Hamilton's elite range and ball-hawking skills, that number could jump to nearly 34%. That's a huge difference, especially in a division where every turnover can be the difference between a win and a loss. Plus, it would open up more blitz opportunities for players like Aiden Hutchinson, who already has 11 sacks this season and a 23% win rate in pass rush. Hamilton's presence would also bolster the run defense, giving the Lions a more complete secondary that can handle both the aerial attack of NFC North rivals and the run game. And let's not forget, A trade for Hamilton could send a clear message to the league that the Lions are serious contenders. With this addition, Detroit's defense would become even more formidable, helping them to hold opponents to fewer points and generate more turnovers. The Lions have been a team on the rise, and this move could push them even closer to Super Bowl contention. The offense, led by Jared Goff, who's thrown for over 400 yards and an 88.6 PFF grade this season, would benefit from shorter fields thanks to more turnovers and better field position created by Hamilton's playmaking. The deep ball threat from St. Brown, with over 200 receiving yards, would also get more opportunities thanks to improved defensive stops and turnovers. Now, on the other side, the Ravens are likely to see this as a smart move in the long run. They're allowing around 24 points per game, which isn't terrible but isn't elite either. They're in the process of rebuilding their roster, focusing on the draft and cap flexibility. With about $15 million free, they could easily extend Zay Flowers and add some draft picks to replenish their stock. The question is whether they're willing to give up a player like Hamilton, who's just hitting his prime and has a lot of untapped potential still ahead of him. Some skeptics might argue that trading away a young, versatile safety could weaken Baltimore's chances of competing now, especially since they're in the playoff hunt. But with the NFL being so unpredictable, a move like this could be exactly what they need to shake things up and build for the future. For the Lions, this trade would be a clear statement that they're all in on making a deep playoff run this year and beyond. Adding Hamilton would not only improve their secondary, but also send a message to the rest of the league that Detroit is not just a team to watch, they're a team to fear. The Lions, front seven, with players like Aiden Hutchinson and the emerging James Houston, would benefit from Hamilton's ability to cover more ground and create turnovers. His addition could also help mask some of the vulnerabilities in their run defense, giving the Lions a more balanced and aggressive defense overall. Looking at the bigger picture, the impact of landing Hamilton could be enormous. Bookmakers are already betting heavily on the Lions improving their odds for the Super Bowl, with some sportsbooks shifting their odds from +3,500 to +1,0 in favor of Detroit by December 2025. That kind of shift reflects the league's perception of the Lions' potential with a player like Hamilton on their roster. In the NFC, where teams like the 49ers, Eagles, and Cowboys are competing, Detroit could become a dark horse contender with this upgrade, especially if they can tighten up their pass defense and create more turnovers. And let's not forget the parallels to past trades that transformed teams. For example, the 2022 Falcons made a similar move with Jesse Bates, which helped propel them to a +130 increase in their team's total points scored. Hamilton's addition could have a comparable effect for the Lions, boosting their secondary, increasing turnovers, and ultimately helping them win close games. The Lions have already shown they can score with Jared Goff leading the offense, but tightening up defensively could be the final piece to turn their good season into a Super Bowl caliber run. Of course, there are some questions and risks involved. Trading a young star safety like Hamilton is not without its doubts. It could weaken Baltimore's defense in the short term, and some might argue that giving up a player of Hamilton's caliber could hurt their window to contend this year. But with the Ravens already dealing with cap constraints and focusing on draft picks, this could be a strategic move to reset and build for the future. For Detroit, acquiring Hamilton would mean investing heavily in their defense, but the payoff could be enormous, especially if he lives up to his potential and becomes the anchor they need. In conclusion, this rumored trade is one of those stories that could reshape the NFL narrative for the remainder of the season. It's a bold move, a high-stakes gamble that could pay off handsomely for either team. For the Lions, it's about elevating their defense from good to elite, giving them that extra edge needed to push deep into the playoffs. For the Ravens, it's about managing their cap and roster to stay competitive while planning for the future. Either way, fans of Detroit, you should be excited because this move, if it happens, could very well be the catalyst for a Super Bowl run, turning the Lions into a true defensive powerhouse and making the NFC North even more unpredictable and exciting. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Detroit Lions news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Detroit Lions fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential blockbuster trade? Do you think Hamilton would be the perfect fit to boost our secondary and help us chase that Super Bowl trophy? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Lions. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Detroit Lions news. This season is shaping up to be one of the most exciting in recent memory, and moves like this could be what pushes Detroit over the top. So keep your eyes peeled, stay passionate, and let's keep riding this Lions bandwagon all the way to the big game.